One New York Jets insider proposed a wild trade for the New York Jets earlier today. Could the Jets pull it off? We'll break it down and much more all coming up here on a Saturday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer, Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer, and Jets legend, Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk, Saturday, February 8th, 2025, day before the Super Bowl here, and a lot to get into. We'll cover it and much more, all for you here on NY Flight Jets Talk. Before we get started, though, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're at 1,540 subscribers. We're trying to hit 2,000 by the draft. If you can't give memberships, or this is the completely free way to contribute to the show. Hitting the like button, hitting subscribe, sharing the show helps us grow significantly. I mentioned gifted membership, so we'll throw the ticker on down below for this month's membership raffle. Prize we're giving away this month: Joe Klecko signed jersey, Mark Gastineau signed jersey, Bill Parcells signed photo, free item from the merch store, and a channel emoji, so be sure to get on that if you haven't already. And if you're in already, the more tickets, the merrier. No limit. Every $2.99 super chat or every membership will get you a raffle ticket. I really appreciate all of your support. Join the Discord down below if you want to have some fun, exclusive Jets talk. We have some big guests coming up over the next few days. Two of which are going to be pre-recorded, and I'm going to throw the names in the Discord tonight. And you guys, they're going to air later in the week. They're going to be pre-recorded interviews. So if you guys want to ask any questions, join the Discord. We'll do kind of a mailbag style segment with each of these, the big guests coming up. So I appreciate you. As always, any questions in the chat, throw them there. We'll be sure to get to those. If you want to call into the show, pin comment in the chat. But before we get started today, we'll say what's up to everyone we see in the building. Our guy, David D. Not our Lions fan, David D. Our Jets fan, David D. A little confusing here. We have two David D's. One is a Jets fan, the other is a Lions fan. So here's our Jets David D. in the building. Yes, guys, I did gift 5 channel memberships right before the show. Your name called. You are now a member. Good sign they didn't actually max out. Britain NZL, Jack Manariano, Jets Mess, Jojo Townsell, Gangrene Goliath. You are all members. Appreciate your support. As always, Sharon McLean is in the building. Sharon, good to see you. I appreciate you tuning in here on the program. As always, Caden is in the building. Caden, you're the GOAT. Appreciate you as always. Bill M in the house. He's ready to take flight. Bill, appreciate you tuning in. Greg Rallo. Greg, good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you as always here. 3 siblings. Jay in the house. Jay, good to see you. Armand in the house. Armand, appreciate you tuning in. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights channel member in the building as always. Appreciate you. Caden says Jets should get a third for Devontae. The trade proposal today actually the trade proposal today involves Devontae Adams, and there's a draft pick involved, but that's not the main center. That's not the main centerpiece, if you will, of this mock trade proposed by Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic. Caden says Glenn also got some game manager or something too. John Berger or Berger is how you say his name. He's been in the system, I think, in the league for 11 years, overlapped with Glenn for a little while. Again, a smaller hire. The Jets also made 2 other hires. Nick McKissick Luke will be their running backs coach. He was Minnesota's running back coach at the college level the past 2 seasons. I like that Aaron Glenn's adding guys from all different backgrounds. Now he's going the college background. He has experienced guys. He has first-timers. I'm a fan of the way his coaching staff overall is coming together. And then another hire that happened right before we came on was Jay Blah, something like that. Former player in the league. He played for the Rams for a few seasons. He was with the Lions from 2003 to 2006, Broncos, 49ers, and then he had a second stint with Detroit. As he's 47 years old from a coaching standpoint, he was with North Carolina from 2019 to 2022 as their cornerbacks coach. He overlapped with Glenn in 2023 with the Lions. He was the cornerbacks coach under Glenn, and then he was a defensive analyst with the University of Charlotte this past season. So 2 new hires here for Aaron Glenn. So interesting day for the Jets. Jimmy Jets in the building, says Fake Connor. Yeah, I know we have a lot of Boy Green fans in here. A lot of the, salute to the Boy Green Coffee Club in the house. Yeah, Boy Green texted. I normally watch the morning show. I got home very, very late. I was at the Nets game last night. I didn't get home until about 12, 1 in the morning. So I went right to sleep when I got home. And Boy Green, I'll tell you what he said. He texted me and he said, "Hey, were you just commenting on my Boy Green Daily Show on YouTube?" And I was like, "No, I was sleeping." And then I woke up to that text from Boy Green, and he said, "Are you in Europe?" I said, "No." So I went back and rewatched the show. Yeah, there's apparently a parody account about me out there. I rewatched the show, and just so you guys know, those are takes I would never be making, talking about freaking bringing Zach Wilson back next season, saying I saying I live in England or Germany, whatever it was. So that was the fake account. There was like some for you guys to see it next time. There was like a little shadow in the background. It was my real headshot, but it was not the way my YouTube channel is fully advertised. And also, Connor Long is my YouTube name. The L in Long was lowercased in that person's username. It's capitalized on my channel. So things to look out for. I appreciate you. I appreciate you as always. Dino in the building. Connor, let's hope. But it's the time of year for fake news. I hope this trade proposal is going to be interesting. We'll get into that once we're done saying what's up to everyone in the chat. Any questions here, we'll get to those. Throw them in the chat if you want to call into the show. Pin comment in the chat. Our guy Rick Kent is in the building. Rick, good to see you tuning in here. As always, I'm happy you got the Mangold jersey, got your email. We spoke in Nick's chat a little last night. Super happy you got it. And yeah, you're an absolute legend. So I'm happy the jersey was able to go to you. Have most, as we talked about Zach Wilson for half an hour, was messed up. Yeah, I like I said, I went back and rewatched the morning show today, and someone, the fake me, said bring back Zach Wilson as a fourth string quarterback next season. That was funny. When I first saw it, I thought my account got hacked because everything was similar, and then I went step by step, piece by piece, and I noticed someone just created the parody account. So I was a little scared for a second, but just know that is not me. I don't want Zach Wilson back on this team. Appreciate you tuning in. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. That's a great way to help us grow. 29 of you in the building here on YouTube, only 23 likes. 6 of you have not liked the video. Please hit like if you haven't already. Like I said, any questions, throw them in the chat. If you want to call into the show, we'll get you up on the air here. Please click the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Now let's get into the trade proposal. What this video is all about. Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic came out today, and everyone at The Athletic, the beat reporter for each team. So they listed the Athletics NFL staff overall did top trade destinations for Cooper Kupp. And for example, the Dallas Cowboys were listed as a trade destination. So the Dallas Cowboys beat reporter wrote why it would be a viable destination for Cooper Kupp. So Zach Rosenblatt wrote out this trade proposal and why Cooper Kupp could be why this could be a solid deal for the Jets. I'll read you out I'll share my screen. We'll do that so you guys can see everything here. I'll share my screen. This is what Zach Rosenblatt proposed in an article for The Athletic earlier today. We'll zoom in a little further there. Here it is. Might as well just go full screen there so you guys can see. You guys can see everything. Here it is. New York Jets. Rams get Davante Adams and 2025 fifth round pick. Jets get Cooper Kupp and 2025 fourth round pick. Rosenblatt writes, a trade of convenience, assuming Aaron Rodgers doesn't return to the Jets. Adams won't either. And as long as Adams would be open to taking the Rams, this could work out for both sides. Then he throws in a bunch of statistics over there. This is what I have to say. About this trade proposal. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, I basically think Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams are a package deal, and we've been talking about that for a long time. So Aaron Rodgers comes back, this is a strong no for me. Aaron Rodgers come back, not only is it a no, I don't think they should make the trade, but also it's not going to happen if Aaron Rodgers is back on the team. That's step number one. Step number two, let's say Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. Never say never regarding this trade here, because I know a lot of the concern with Cooper Kupp is his injury history. I understand that he's similar in age to Davante Adams, both in their early 30s. Injuries and the salary number is the main concern with Cooper Kupp. Once the Rams came out and said, okay, they're going to go ahead and deal him. But then I began, well, I know Davante Adams is on a crazy contract right now, so I'm going to kind of compare and contrast their cap numbers here and see what's up. This is what Cooper Kupp's cap. So Cooper Kupp, he's now a free agent, 2027. He's been in the league for 8 years, 31 years old. His cap number in 2025 is $29.7 million. That's his cap number next season. Now with Davante Adams, his cap number is $38 million. So his number is significant. Let's keep in mind, his cap number is $38 million over the next 2 seasons on his current deal. As for Kupp, over the next 2 seasons, it's 29 and 25, and then it's 27 million in 2026, and then boom, You're out of that deal. They both have 2 years left on their contract. So I think this is something that can potentially work. This could potentially work out for the Jets if they end up moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Personally, I am in the belief that Davante Adams has proven more over the past few seasons as a wide receiver compared to Cooper Kupp. I love Cooper Kupp as the player. The problem is he struggled to stay on the field. That's the main issue. He struggled to stay on the field, but when he's on the field, I think he's an elite wide receiver in this league. I think that is pretty safe to say here at this point. So I'm a fan of this trade proposal. Not to mention, you basically you're giving up your 5th-round pick this year to gain a 4th-round pick. I've been a big proponent of kind of stacking up on draft capital. I know you have to give up a 5th for a 4th, but when you think about it, this is essentially kind of trading Cooper Kupp straight up for Davante Adams, with the exception of you throw a day 3 pick in there for each side. My thing with Davante Adams is if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, the Jets only and he's not willing to rework his not even if he's not willing to rework his deal. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, Davante Adams isn't coming back. So that leaves the Jets with 2 options. They could either try to trade him or they could outright cut him. Those are the 2 options right now. If you cut him, you save over $30 million in cap room, or you could try to make a trade like this where maybe you do bring in another veteran receiver like Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp is willing to take a pay cut. I could see a scenario where this potentially could happen. Like I said, I think Adams is a better receiver right now than Cooper Kupp is, but if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, Davante Adams is not back on this team in 2025. So this is a trade that I think could be intriguing if Aaron Rodgers takes the route of retiring or not returning to the Jets next season. That's where I am. So Aaron Rodgers is gone. I would be a fan of this if the Jets wanted to go out and make a trade similar to this. Because I like Cooper Kupp. The problem is his finances, which you could restructure, and him staying on the field is the massive issue. I mean, let's be real. If you move on from Davante Adams, you're going to have to add a few names, whether it's through free agency, whether it's through trade, or whether it's through the draft at the wide receiver room. Because you let Davante Adams go alongside Aaron Rodgers, you're not looking at much. You have Garrett Wilson, then Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson. These aren't what they've shown. They're not rosterable players in the NFL. So the Jets are going to need to add to this wide receiver room no matter what if they move Davante Adams. And Adams also said he's open to going to a West Coast team. Rams obviously in LA, Rams in the West Coast, bigger market, LA. Who knows? Thing is, even if Davante Adams wants to come back with his team, he's going to have to agree to a significant pay cut. Even if Rodgers does come back, it's not a guarantee that Adams can't come back on this same deal. That's the bottom line. No matter what happens with Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams cannot come back to the New York Jets on this same deal. It's just simply not viable from a cap standpoint. You're essentially, that you can't have him back on this current deal with all these cap numbers. $38 million in 2025, $38 million in 2026, and then $4 million for his void year in 27. Like I said, if you were to cut him post June 1, you would save $36 million over the next 2 seasons while eating $2 million over the next 3. I would freaking love that if they move on from Rodgers. Cut him or trade him. That's their only options with him if he's not going to come back on this deal. Everyone smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you tuning in here on NY Flight Jets Talk. Like, share, and subscribe. Join the Discord. We have big interviews coming up, and they are going to be pre-recorded. So pre-recorded here. Have any questions? We're going to do a mailbag style. You can submit your questions through the Discord. That's how we will be getting all the mailbag questions here. Any questions, throw them in the chat if you want to call into the show. Click the pinned comment in the chat. Where are we? We'll start with this one from Havmos. Is get Ted McMillan at 7. Ted McMillan, I'm a huge fan of his. Reminds me a lot of T. Higgins with just untapped potential. Great body control. Love his size. 6'5", 212. Generational hands. Great body control. Okay route runner. Can run block. Problem is he going to be there at 7? That is the main question. Because I think both quarterbacks in Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward are going to be off the board once the Raiders are on the clock at 6. And the Raiders need a lot of wide receivers. I think Ted McMillan ultimately goes to the Raiders, the pick before the Jets, similar to what happened with Rome Odunze to the Bears last year. I think it's a similar scenario like that. I think that's what's going to happen. But if he's on the board, you have to run that up right away to the podium because Ted McMillan, I think, has the potential to be an elite receiver in this league. Billy says seems like Cup to Dallas. That's a good trade. Are you referring to this trade, or the mock trade proposal, whatever you guys want to call it, from Zach Rosenblatt, or if it would be considered a good deal if he were to go to Dallas? I could see him going to Dallas. See what he could materialize potentially with what they have in the quarterback room. First time coach. I could potentially see Cup going there. Texans is another team to watch. Chargers another team. Those are the three teams I think should be viewed as front runners. I think the Ravens, another team that should get in on these talks. They need a lot of wide receiver help, especially given the fact that not necessarily a down year, but Zay Flowers I don't think is an elite wide receiver one in the NFL, so it can't hurt to add some depth there. So those are the four teams I expect to covet Cup the most here. Um, three siblings. Jay says Cup with Rodgers. I don't think you're getting Cup with Aaron Rodgers, especially if it involves trading Devontae Adams. What about here's something I could see. Let me know what you guys think of this. Cooper Kupp at this stage of his career with a cap number, a fourth and a sixth round pick for Cooper Kupp. Depending. Do you think that's selling the Rams short a little bit? A fourth and a sixth round pick for Cooper Kupp. Rams are offering that to the Jets. I think you take it. Like, what is the fair value for Cooper Kupp? I think that's the biggest thing we're trying to find out here. Because the one main issue is the injuries. The cap issues can be resolved with restructures and all that jazz. But him being able to stay on the field is the biggest issue. So what is his value here? Is it a third round pick? Is it a second round pick? It's surely not a first round pick. It's the combination here of a few day 3 picks. That's what I'm trying to see. That's what we're all trying to figure out, I think, at this point. Once the Rams announce they're going to trade Cooper Kupp. Teresa in the building, what are your thoughts on the Jets hiring the game management coach? I think you're referring to John Berger. I'm still trying to pronounce his name. More people in the building, the better. Don't know too much about him. I know he's an experienced name. Yeah, that's where I am. I haven't done too much research on him. Rick's Cup is washed up. I don't even think it's more so washed up. I think he still has something left in the tank. The biggest thing is him being able to stay on the field and maximize his potential. I don't think it's particularly that he's washed up. I think that he's unable to stay on the field, and that is a problem for him. Billy says Rodgers doesn't come back. What incentive does Kupp have to want to come here? He has no leverage. The Rams have all the leverage. They basically came in, they told him, we're trading you. Kupp has made it clear he wants to stay in LA. The Rams came in and they said, we are trading you. That is what we've understood so far from this whole, Kupp Rams drama. So I don't think they're going to let him pick his own destination. I'm sure the Jets aren't his number one choice, but I think they're going to take what's the best offer for that organization. I think that's what Les Snead and the rest of the Rams front office, coupled with Sean McVay and the offensive coaching staff, I think that's what they're going to do. Another interesting thing with the Texans, Nick Caley, their Rams former passing game coordinator, I'm sure a familiar face with Cooper Kupp, is there too. So maybe you throw that into the mix. Kind of sweetens the deal over there in Houston. Could be interesting. Where are we? Armand in the building this past Thursday on Jets Afterburners. I proposed this trade: Rodgers for Adams for Stafford and Kupp. I based it off Rodgers and Adams don't want to be here, but Glenn and Muji want to run it back. I would not trade. I don't think Adams and Kupp straight up is fair. Rodgers for Stafford is close. I would overall say no to that. I like the thought process there 1000%, Armand, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm a big proponent of that. But overall, I don't think Adams, I think you're trying to align at the two wide receivers for the two quarterbacks. I'd say Rodgers for Stafford is even, but Adams for Kupp, I think, is off. So for that sake, I would decline it. Adams says Stafford is quite a bit left in the tank. I think he's going to sign somewhere in free agency. I think they might I think the Rams are simply going to move off of him. Maybe see what they have in Stenson Bennett. Who's, what is he, 1,000 years old by now? Jimmy says Gibson's booty cheeks. Rick Kent says Gibson won't even be at minicamp. He'll be gone. I think he's just riding the coattails of that Week 1, 2023, 9-11 kick return touchdown. Let's all be real. That was a great memory for sure. But overall, he's struggled returning punts and kicks. And he doesn't offer you anything. His size, he's so small, 5'8", 5'9". He can't even get you anything in the slot. Can't get you any. We've seen him maybe a few times on those RPO screens, those jet sweeps. But you have Malachi Corley to do that. Like Xavier Gibson, I don't think is a rosterable player in the NFL, in my opinion. That's me. Do you like Jeff Fan get DT and FA in round 2/3? Here are some names to watch. I'll do the draft and free agency here for the defensive tackles. Defensive tackle DJ Jones. Former Denver Bronco. You could maybe get him cheap in free agency. Strong connection to Darren Muji. Big guy, big run stuffer. I'm a huge fan of potentially trying to add him in free agency. Rounds 2 or 3 in the NFL draft. Let's sound off on some names here. Early round 2, if he's there, Tyleik Williams, the interior defensive lineman from Ohio State. I still think he's a late first-round guy. I'm a huge fan of his game. TJ Sanders, the interior defensive lineman from South Carolina, is certainly a name to watch here. Now let me think. Round 3. Where have I been leaning in round 3? I've done a lot of mocks off air. I'm just still trying to see where what I've been doing recently. Round 3. So Jets. I've been going more towards the tight end area. Harold Fannin Jr. has been my 3rd round pick the past few mocks. I've been leaning more towards the tight end. So I think you can go defensive tackle potentially in round 2 if you want to draft early. And then there's the defensive line class overall this year is so deep. So you can even get some UDFAs in the building, some day 3 guys. So I don't think that's overall a concern. Billy says we got a serious playoff shot with Rodgers, Adams, and Garrett Wilson. I would do all I could to keep that trio together. I agree. I would do all I could to keep that trio together as well. The one thing is Rodgers is going to need to take a pay cut. 1,000%, because you can't have him back on this current deal where you keep him and then boom, you move on from him and you pay him $63 million. Like, you can't do that. So you're going to have to, yes, I agree. This team has potential to win, so maximize the now factor. Try to go ahead and make the playoffs for the first time in 14 years. Make a run in the playoffs, while also still having that safety net in the future. I don't have to pay Aaron Rodgers $63 million. So if he wants to be here, I think he should be open to taking a pay cut, because let's be real, he's not playing for money anymore at this point in his career. He's playing for legacy and playing for the joy of the game. So he's going to need to take a pay cut alongside Devontae Adams if they want to come back next season. Garrett Wilson's going to be here no matter what. Caden says only trade Devontae for draft capital. No players, please. Why not? If you're going to trade Devontae, I would love to get another receiver back, because you give up Devontae, like I said, Garrett Wilson's your only real wide receiver entering, only wide receiver entering as you creep up on the draft. So why wouldn't you want to receive a player, particularly a receiver, in a trade? That's where I am. Jimmy says Graham at 7 again. If he's there, take him. I don't think he's going to be there. I think he's going to Jacksonville. I think Mason Graham's going to be selected by Jacksonville, but I would love Mason Graham with the 7th overall pick. I have this proposal here for you guys. Not even proposal, just draft selection potential, whatever you want to call it. All these terms now that are used. Here's something. Shedeur Sanders is there at pick 7. What do? You take him, you trade back and get a haul. I think you trade back and get a haul. Somehow he's sitting there at pick number 7 for the Jets. What do you try to do? I don't think you take him. I don't think he's the 7th. I don't think he is the 7th overall pick for the Jets. Obviously, if you were to take him, it's not a smart move, because he's going to have to sit anyways for one season. And I don't think he would potentially have a future here. And then I also don't want to deal with the headache that is Deion Sanders. The luggage that comes with him. It's like LaMelo Ball and LeVar Ball. Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball for those NBA fans out there. So Shedeur's there at 7. I think you trade back and get a haul. I do not want Shedeur Sanders with the Jets. Caden says Kupp should just retire. LOL. I don't think there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to covet. I named 5-6 teams that I think are going to make a strong push for him. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he still has 2 to 3 years left in the NFL. Where are we? My Holy King. Everyone talks about Tyrod Taylor being injured every year. What about Kupp? He's injured. He's injured for sure. Let's check the last time he's played 17 games. Let's see. Let's just look at his game total over the past few seasons, according to Pro Football Reference here. Pull this up. Here it is. All right. Last season, 12 games. Season before, 12 games. Season before, 9. 17 and 21. 15 and 20. 16 and 19. 8 and 18. 15 and 17. So over the past few seasons is really where he's really been banged up. From 22, where he only played 9 games, and then 23 and 24, he both played. He played 12 games both seasons. So these past 2 years has been really, really, really where he's been banged up. So Tyrod Taylor, if you're trying to make a point about him being a starter, I would love for him to be a starter next season, but you need a backup in place if the Jets want to go the bridge route next year, because he'll be healthy for 10 out of the 17 games, max. I can guarantee that. And then Kupp, I just explained it. He's injured, but when he's on the field, he's a top wide receiver in football, and that's what you're trading for if you trade for Cooper Kupp. Teresa, echoing what I just said, if Rodgers doesn't come back, I think the Jets should give Tyrod Taylor a chance. I think it'd be a really good QB. Veteran guy, all the players seem to love him. You can't find a guy who says one bad thing about Tyrod Taylor. Under contract next season, has been in the building for a year now. Again, I just want another veteran behind him if you're going to go that route. Because, again, he's only getting you 10 games max. Tony in the building. Connor, big fan of the show, loving the Glenn effect on the Jets. I'm getting Rex vibes sprinkled with Herm Edwards. Tony, appreciate you, and I appreciate you tuning in as always. Really like the way Aaron Glenn has handled these past few weeks, now officially being the New York Jets head coach. I agree. Like the way the staff is coming together. Reminds me a lot of Herm Edwards. That was a parallel I drew well before they hired him, and I'm gonna stay on that hill. Herm Edwards is my comp for Aaron Glenn. Listen to my holy king, guys. Please hit the like button for Gangrene. Please hit subscribe. You guys are the best. Share the video. Join the Discord. You guys are the best. 47 of you in the building. 37 likes. 10 of you haven't liked. Hit like if you haven't already. Subscribe. We're trying to get 2,000 subscribers by the draft. We're at 1,541. So you guys are the best. Keep it going. Appreciate you. As always, Mr. Business Channel member in the house. I want to see a lot more of Corley. This is an interesting topic. I mentioned Malachi Corley as someone to potentially watch right after the Jets hired Tanner Engstrand, because you look at the way Detroit kind of maximized Jameson Williams' potential the past few seasons. He's similar skill set to Malachi Corley from a height perspective, weight perspective, a similar skill set. They really utilized Jameson Williams on those gadget plays, those jet sweeps, those RPOs, those wide receiver screens, and maybe Malachi Corley's able to carve himself out a role on this team. This next season. I hope that's going to happen. Kukolik Jet fan says Kentucky DT. You're talking about Daron Walker, I think is how you say his name. Let me just let's see. Dion Walker. Yeah. So we're talking about a similar name here. He's very, very. I have him at, I think, checking my sheet right now. 345 pounds is what I have him as. Run stuffing defensive tackle. I think I have him in the second, or I have him at the end of the second, top of the third, where I have him going in most mocks. So I would love Daron Walker if he's able to fall to the Jets, and particularly end of the second, early third round. That's where I am. Mike D's Nuts, appreciate you guys. Always good stuff. Connor, you 10. Let's see how many channel memberships you're at this month here. Mike, I know you got the Winkerbet jersey and you Winkerbet football, excuse me. I know you really liked it, so I appreciate you as always. So happy you went to your 5 gifted memberships on the month. Mike is in on our membership raffle. Mike, you're the best. I appreciate you. As always here. Everyone no one wants Shedeur, which I'm happy about. MFL says Shedeur won't get past 3. I'm going to push back there. I don't think that's the case. I don't even think it's a sure thing the Titans are going to take a quarterback here. Like with the number 1 overall pick. It seems to be Cam Ward is the consensus here. I don't think that is a foregone conclusion. I really don't. And I don't think the Browns are going to take a quarterback either. I think the Browns are going to take Abdul Carter with the 2nd overall pick. The Giants are going to take a quarterback. I think that's what's going to happen too. I think there's 1, maybe 2 quarterbacks taken in the top 3. I think there's a strong chance that Shedeur can get past the top 3. No one wants Shedeur, which I'm a huge fan of. Where are we in the chat? I think we are all caught up. Alan says, Connor, all I want is Iowa Hawkeyes to be drafted by the Jets. No more Cyclones. All right, so you're on the Sebastian Castro, Luke Laley. I don't even know how to say his name. Luke Lachey. I think is how you say it. Luke Lachey, the tight end in one of the later rounds. Sebastian Castro, the safety. Jay Higgins, the linebacker. There's some solid Hawkeyes coming out this year. A lot of names to watch. Okay, there we go. I got it right. Lachey. Boom. I pronounced Luke Lachey, tight end's name, out of Iowa. Jets commuter guy, Petey in the building. Connor, great stuff as always. T-Mac, Will Johnson, Graham, or the Georgia linebacker at 7. All good for me. Petey, appreciate you tuning in as always. Subscribe to Petey's channel, Jets Commute, if you haven't already. Great Jets content. Says T-Mac, Tim McMillan, love Tim McMillan. Will Johnson, I love his length, I love his size. The injury history scares me a little bit, and I wouldn't guarantee the Jets would I don't guarantee the Jets would want to take a cornerback 2 with the 7th overall pick. Mason Graham, I'd love if he's available. And Georgia outside linebacker Mikel Williams. Don't hate him at all, but 7 I think is a bit of a reach. I'd prefer a Mike Green, the edge at a Marshall, or even a Shamar Stewart, the defensive lineman out at Texas A&M. So I'm not the biggest fan of Mikel Williams at 7. He's a trade back target to watch. If you want to trade back, I think he's a name to watch. Yeah. Alan lists out all the names: Castro, Lachey, Higgins, Yasha Black, and then Halfmo mentions Caleb Johnson, the running back. He's my second-ranked running back this year behind Ashton Genty. And then I have Omarion Hampton at 3rd on that list from North Carolina. I think Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State might be in I think he's someone I dubbed as a sleeper. Now he's sliding up boards, but he's the name I spoke about earlier on in the season. Like, I think he's going to be a top running back. I think he'll be a top 90 pick too, which I'm happy about. Quinshon Judkins. So I'm talking about the running back out of Ohio State. A huge fan of his. Everyone smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Saturday, February 8th, here on this evening. NY Flight Jets Talk, talking New York Jets football. If you want to call into the show, pin comment in the chat. Last chance to get your questions in here before we wrap up. And like I said, check out the Discord. Tonight, I am recording right after this, actually. I am recording with a very, very special guest. I'm going to throw that in the Discord. If you guys have any questions for him, once I announce it, throw them in there, and we'll get that up on the screen. So join the Discord so you can get exclusive updates, exclusive permission, if you will, to ask special guests some questions here. And then we have a very, very special guest who I think you guys are really, really going to like here. Tomorrow morning, he's joining us. That will air on Monday. So you guys have the opportunity to ask both of those guys questions and learn about the interview first by joining the Discord and getting informed on that. So please join the Discord if you haven't already. Last chance to give memberships for the membership raffle today. Joe Klecko signed jersey, Mark Gastineau signed jersey, Bill Parcells signed photo, free item from the merch store. Channel emoji among the prizes we're giving away again this month. I appreciate you as always, 43, and you in the building. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe as our quest to the 2,000 subscribers is underway. Less than 500 subscribers away, so hit subscribe if you haven't already. Completely free. You guys are the best. Got to record. Got to record with our first special guest this week at 8 p.m. So we're gonna hop off here in a little. And wow, at the buzzer, we got 6 gifted memberships now from 2 different people. Awesome LA comes in with 1 gifted memberships. Jet Fan for Life. You are now a member. Jet Fan for Life. Welcome to Connor's A-Team. Please thank Awesome LA, our guy Lace Sal in the chat. You're the GOAT. Appreciate you. As always, Alan. Wow, the memberships are flying. Alan gives 5 memberships. You hear your name called? Thank Alan for the memberships. Barbarossa, Dave from New Brunswick, Iken, Driveway Cam 99 Jet, you were all members. Thanks to Alan. And wow, it doesn't stop there. Mr. Business with 5 gifted memberships. Miguel Padilla, King Jimmy the Matter, Chiefs fan, Sean and Maurice, you were all members. Thanks to Mr. Business. And wow, 16 gifted memberships in the span of about 30 freaking seconds. Jimmy Jets comes in here with 5 gifted memberships. JJ, BC, NY Jets Superfan, Taylor Sterling, Philip Hannon, Sharon McLean, you are all members. And wow, this is our record, I think, for the quickest memberships we've ever gotten. The most in like the span of 45 seconds to a minute. It doesn't stop there. Rick Kent has gifted 5 more channel memberships to get into our raffle. Jeffrey R., Big Rush 2112, Mr. Borzak 122, Jersey Jet, J. Lep Selter. You are all members thanks to Rick Kent. Wow, you guys are the best. I appreciate you as always. How many was that? That was 5, 10, 15, 21 gifted memberships in like 45 seconds. You guys are the best. I cannot thank you enough. I think we gotta end on that note. So your last chance again, if you haven't already, if you want to gift some more after that crazy spree of memberships, feel free to do so. We are gonna wrap up here shortly, and then your last chance to get questions in or call into the show. Wow. Gotta update all those raffle tickets. 5 for Rick Kent, 5 for Jimmy, 5 for Mr. Business, 5 for Alan, 1 for Awesome LA. So Jimmy, that's 5 more. Jimmy's now still in second place with 20. Alan, Rick Kent get in alongside Mr. Business and Awesome LA. So you guys are the best. Can't thank you enough for all these freaking memberships here. Like I said, though, I gotta run. I gotta record a podcast that will be airing tomorrow with one of our special guests. If you want to hear about it and you want to have the potential to ask him some questions alongside our guests tomorrow morning, please feel free to join the Discord where you have the ability to do so. I'm not gonna say the one I have. I'll say the one I have to. I'll say the one I have on tomorrow morning because he's a very big he's a big name just based on someone who was hired with the Jets organization directly connected to him. Ryan Wilson, draft analyst from CBS Sports. I will be recording with him tomorrow morning. He's done a podcast with Rick Spielman over the past 2 years, so he has a great relationship with Rick Spielman. We'll go in depth about really what is Rick Spielman's role with the Jets, why he's built for the job, and what could we expect overall out of him. We'll talk some draft with the draft analyst because he's a draft analyst as well for CBS Sports. So a lot of fun shows coming up. So if you want to have the opportunity to ask these people questions, join the Discord where you have the ability to do so. Havmo says you and Matt doing pregame. Not, I think you might be assuming Super Bowl Sunday pregame. No, we just did all 17 games for the Jets. Unfortunately, it didn't extend in the playoffs because, as we know, the Jets have not been in the playoffs for what is it, 14 years now? Jesus. So yeah, hopefully we do the pregame shows again next year, and they're able to extend into the playoffs because the Jets are making it far. Alan says Ryan Wilson has cool glasses. Ask him to put those in the raffle. Alan, I'll make sure he knows that you enjoy his glasses, and hopefully they can get into one of the NY Flight Jets Talk raffles. I appreciate you guys. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and subscribe, please. If you haven't already, that is going to do it for me. I am Connor Long, wrapping things up here on this Saturday evening. NY Flight Jets Talk, JETS, 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 Jets.